Hello, hello everyone! I know it's not bedtime story day, but I have been keeping myself busy with a new project. So, if you aren't aware, I have been collecting these little fortunes here, and I've been more or less gluing them into this little notebook I have at Michael's. You can get it for like $5 or something like that with a member card. This one says, "Be the windshield, not the bug." And I thought it was a perfect little notebook for me to do these little fortune-telling journal entries. So, my series from this point forward will be Last Week in Fortunes, which is all of the fortunes and my responses to them from the week before, and I will be doing it every other Monday. So thank you. Thank you. If you want to subscribe, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a like. I really want to do something different for a change. Let's get started with the fortune for last Monday, which was, if you are never scared, embarrassed, or hurt, it means you never take chances. Now, I have also been typing my responses into my computer, so in case, God forbid, I lose my notebook or something, they're all still there, and I can easily access the document to type all of my responses down. But here's what I had to say about this fortune. We've all had regrets of never doing something that would either improve our lives or make us more of a failure. When asked 9 times out of 10, the response will usually be that they were scared of doing it or they never want to be hurt again. By letting ourselves be scared, embarrassed, or hurt, we can acknowledge what went wrong and how to better ourselves next time we do that thing. I've almost never allowed myself to be all of those things because I felt like I was embarrassing my family by taking all of those risks. As an autistic young lady, we all fall into that trap of not letting ourselves take risks because, for one thing, we never want to or mean to because it lessens our empowering image. And another thing, we sometimes have family that will shame us no matter what we do. I'm very lucky that I have that supportive link. I can only wish the same for others like myself. Now, the one for one of my friend's birthdays is actually a very good one, and I hope you will take this to heart. It says, "A man without aim is like a clock without hands, as useless if it turns as if it stands." Now, you can always free to leave your own interpretation of these fortunes in the comments below, but here's what I had to say about this one. If someone doesn't have a purpose, they are, in a sense, like a clock without hands. Clocks need hands to be able to tell time so we can be on time to wherever we are going, or whatever we'll be doing throughout the day. Take those away, however, and there'd be chaos. We wouldn't be sure if we are late or early to do certain things like going to work for a meeting, school, or social events like weddings or birthday parties. However, I think it's perfectly fine if you haven't found your purpose yet. To me, that means you're human. Humans have always sought to understand their purpose in life, whether it's to lead, create, study, or to reflect on olden days. Sure, it's frustrating trying to figure it out. But it's taken me and might still take me a long time to find what my calling exactly is. It might never come, but that's fine. As long as you've contributed positively to society, you've done your part to make the world a better place. With that hopeful note, I now turn to the fortune for Wednesday, which is, "Discipline is the refining fire by which talent becomes ability." It's a fortune many seem to take for granted in this day and age. They don't really appreciate the time and effort it takes in perfecting a skill they might be interested in or improving upon a hobby they enjoy, such as baking or, in my case, interviewing skills or getting a job. Autistic people have to especially be prepared to constantly improve themselves and not expect to ace the skill on the first try. Many weeks, months, or heck, even years of improving a skill or talent you have can lead you to become an expert in that field. It's what I feel. Many self-help seminars, adult classes, which you can take on your own if you have those in your neighborhood, and instructional videos on YouTube and many other video sharing sites try to help. Only when we make the effort to try and improve ourselves can we truly understand what makes us tick, what we like and don't like in the most basic of terms. By trying to improve what we did wrong and learn how not to make the same mistake again, we can truly learn to better ourselves. Are you really liking these fortunes so far? Leave a comment down below. I really don't want to be bothering you too much, considering most of my responses are a little short, but I'm working on improving my writing skills. The fortune for my mom's birthday is, he who knows others is wise. He who knows himself is enlightened. What I had to say about it was, we go out of our way to know about other people, like our friends, our family, our co-workers, people like that. But we don't really understand our own limits, our strengths or weaknesses as our own selves. Other people might think they know you, but do they or you know what your actual self is? Do others know what it is? We reflect on our past actions and future decisions a lot, as well as the consequences of those decisions. I'm asking you, is this the same as knowing ourselves? In my opinion, the answer is no. We're a bit more complex than knowing what's expected of us. Life sometimes throws a few curveballs, such as corruption, natural disasters, tragedies, like an illness in the family, or a death in the family, or a horrible accident, even something as minor as a canceled meeting or a sudden illness. The universe constantly supplies us with new knowledge to challenge our basic ways of thinking that we thought were set in stone. Now, towards the end, I got a little on a cult situation tangent, but in the end, I said, maybe it's time to start trusting yourself for once and to challenge the system. Because the system often treats people unfairly, regardless of your skin color, your disability, your gender, your age, etc. Now, Friday's fortune is actually another really good one. It says, "Character is to man what carbon is to steel." And I responded by taking the analogy literally. Carbon can strengthen steel, but also increase the chance of it breaking and corroding due to rust, which is a really good metaphor for keeping the positive image of yourself, of allowing yourself to have another breakdown and letting more of your negative traits show, which might leave you in a worse place than when you die as when you were alive. Too much of our purity and virtue that we like to flaunt can lead you to be sullied with bigotry and unrealistic expectations that sometimes you can never hope to keep up. But once again, it's okay to let your cracks show. You're human, that's normal. Saturday's one is another good one. It says, "Courage is rightly considered the foremost of virtues, for upon it all others depend." Now, I was actually really confused when I saw this fortune because our virtues depend on each other to make us who we are. But so why is courage considered the forefront? Well, I responded with, once you gain the courage to do what you have to do and want to do, you will gain all of the other virtues over time. For example, if you find the courage to hear a person out when they're in trouble, you learn to be patient. If you have the nerve to show compassion to others, you learn kindness. If you lend your opposing voice to a world that treats people unfairly, like I have said before, you can learn to speak for justice. Having the courage to respond to anything that's frightening can lead you to become a better person. As I have said, why all of our virtues build upon each other and depend on each other to keep our mental stability in check, rather. But for some, it's not really an easy process, and I can understand that. That it takes up a lot of time and emotional energy some just don't have. But I think we can all find the courage to find ourselves. Only by learning to conquer our doubts and fears can we truly make the steps to make the world better for all of us. Now, for yesterday's prompt, which was 9/11, it was a very sad day, I thought this fortune was very fitting. It says, "A different world cannot be built by indifferent people." So I said here, as much as we helped each other out, saying that we will never forget those that we had lost on that day, we also went to war against a people that, for the most part, didn't deserve to be labeled as terrorists, like the Arabs, the Muslims, all of those people that honestly didn't really deserve to be called by something that the actions of a few had done. Even now, as we have pulled out of Afghanistan, which is a recent event, we don't seem to care that an entire country's way of life is suffering because of our indifference. I went on to say that today, our modern times were not an isolated incident, and I went on to give examples of Germany and Russia because most people were indifferent to the struggles of many different racial and ethnic groups within their own countries and within their own borders. Like Germany, he killed, deported, sterilized, and tortured any people that they saw as a danger to their Aryan or master race, like homosexuals, famously the Jews, gypsies, political prisoners, and much more. Not to be outdone by that, Russia targeted non-communists, the poor, and more recently Ukrainians. And when this whole Ukrainian mess started, I thought, hey, this might be an opportunity for the U.S. to finally show a little bit of compassion for another country. We donated money and supplies, and then we just kind of moved on. And that got me to thinking, how good is a perfect world going to be if we pick and choose which group of people is our primary concern and then ignore them on the next news cycle? Yes, if we choose everyone, there might not be enough supplies to go around for everyone, but here's the thing. We can show compassion to others by helping each other out to fill in the gaps if we need that. Here's another question I'd like to think. If the solution is that simple, how can we choose to ignore others when we can no longer help them? Do we really live in a perfect world with this kind of behavior happening over and over again? Well, that's something I want you to keep in mind, because we are done for last week. Thank you so much for being patient. Again, please give this video a like and subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to leave a comment below. And see you next week!